A prodigious greeting to all those with a penchant for all things pens. So, this week on the State of the Escritoire, I went back to J. Arbonne, Emerald of Chivor, after being away from it for a couple of months and experimenting with different greens. I didn't even know that was there. So after going back to this one, I can safely say there is a reason that this one is on so many people's top lists. So I went back to it, and here it is. It's right up against Kujaku, and it's almost identical. Kujaku has more shading, but no shimmer. Emerald of Chivor is a hair darker, and it's got that same sheen, but it also has tiny bits of gold shimmer in there. So I actually prefer Emerald of Chivor. So if you want Emerald of Chivor but no shimmer, get Kujaku, which is very useful because a lot of pens you might not want to use shimmer in. But I'm loving it in my Zizo. Back home to Emerald of Chivor. Next up, we got ourselves a package. This one is from Goulet Pens. Oh, we got some fun things. Wow, I don't even know where to start right now. Well, let's start with the tiniest things. We've got some different Wearingeul inks. We've got Captain Hook and Hades. This is my very first red ink, and this one's going to be kind of cool. Like I said, I've never had a red, but this red actually spoke to me enough to get. I've never had a black ink as well, except for the plain black cartridges that came with this very Zizo over here. I've never experimented or cared for black ink. This is a black ink with a blue shimmer, so that's going to be fun. And I also got a tiny Henry Thoreau sample as well. Those are going to be cool. Next up, I'm very excited for this new Colorverse. I think I'm going to save this for a separate unboxing video because this brand with these boxes is an experience in and of itself. I have one specialty ink here that I'm actually not going to reveal for a couple of weeks because I've got plans for this one. We've got some notebooks here. I really enjoy these Tomoe River Goulet notebooks. I like these. I like the thicker paper. I also got some more smaller 193 Nemesines. And I know in a previous video I did state that I preferred the 192s, and that's because I was coming from an equivalent sized Right in the Rain from machined pens. This is what I use. For my fountain pens, I use this one. Equally sized, my pockets fit both. However, on the day-to-day, I'm actually finding I'm using the 192 more. It's not as good for, you know, if I want to make a list of something, like a real list, I'm going to use the bigger 192. If I'm going to make a quick, smaller list, or, you know, there's definitely not as much room, so it's noticeable, but this I'm actually finding more convenient. I kind of like the sticker they sent. I was never a fan of some of their other stickers. Let me see if I can find one. There you go. A little bit more feminine for me, but this is actually kind of funny, so good job there, guys. And so fun, I picked up a dip nib, so that way I don't have to actually fill a whole pen if I just want to use one of my inks. So this is going to be really cool. So this one just has our small handle here. And here's our nib. Stainless steel, made in Japan. And it looks like mine has fallen out into the nether regions. So I guess the retention didn't kind of work as planned. It seems like it's all set and fine though, so this is going to be very cool. Before I do anything, I'm actually going to go ahead and read the instructions too, so you can come on that journey. So this is just warnings, it doesn't actually tell you anything. Alright, so I'm just piecing it together. We're doing it. Oh, it slides right in. Nice. It seats well. There was a tiny outcrop of metal that allows me to know exactly where it should be seated, so that works. Oh wow, this is cool. Alright, I can't wait to try this. Alright, so I'm going to test it out with some Blue Dragon Glistening Gold from Colorverse. This was a yearly special they did with a couple different shimmers. First time with a dip nib. I'm just dipping it and trying it. I don't even know what to expect. Oh, cool. Very wide. Let's see if I angle it. Some line variation. I'll have to play with it. Definitely flow issues from, you know, it's a dip nib, so it's going to be heavier on the outset. Not too shabby. So if you have it kind of a little bit more at an angle, you get some wider strokes, you kind of rotate it up, you get some thinner. Let's try some thinner for hope. There we go, back to regular. Uh-oh, starting to run dry. And we're dry. Time for a dip. Alright, first experience with a dip nib, not too shabby. Let's see if we can accentuate the zen there. So, first impression, dip pens are quite sublime. They offer decent line variation and they're very comfortable to write with, certainly. This was very comfortable in balance and feel. This is kind of equal in stance, however you choose to index your fingers, which is nice. And if you write at a lower angle, you've got larger strokes. If you write at a higher angle, you've got some thinner strokes, so there is some line variation. The actual usage of it, it ran out by about here. So you know what I mean? This is why they fell out of fashion, because if you're writing a letter, man, that's not a whole lot of writing before you're dipping and wasting effort. But this is going to be really fun for a variety of inks where I don't have to fill a whole pen. Instead, I can just use this for maybe an opening to a letter and get that big line variation with a unique ink, and then go into one of my other pens for the actual rest of the letter. Thank you again, my friends, for joining me on this journey as I venture deeper into the rabbit hole of fountain pens and pens in general. We hope to see you soon, and as always, may your journey lead to serenity.